When you look at national security, you got to look at it from a comprehensive point of view. And from that point of view, there's no doubt that the pandemic itself and the period of April, May leading up to June, when the Delta variant was really raging all over India, that was a very, very important time. We overcame this problem with resilience. This entire challenge was overcome with national resilience. Compliments to the government, compliments to the people, compliments to the medical fraternity, and compliments to the security forces that we came out shining from it still. But it was a terrible experience. It put us down. It put us down economically. And when you are put down economically, it obviously affects your national security. So I would say that is a huge challenge which came our way. The second thing was, of course, handling this whole business of Afghanistan and the fallout. We were secure in 20 years that our western flank was reasonably secure, and the American presence there ensured that the Afghanistan was stable, reasonably stable. Pakistan did not have the ability to be able to do something out of the box completely. To that extent, therefore, and we were into the job of actually assisting the Americans and bringing about stabilization of Afghanistan, stretching into Central Asia and things like that. All of a sudden, all this disappeared. And disadvantaged Pakistan became advantage Pakistan to a great extent. And that upset the apple cart to some extent. You see, the Modi government has made some great strides as far as the Middle East is concerned. It had some good relationships established with most of the Gulf nations.
Right.
The UAE and Saudi Arabia, two of the most
Right.
important nations of that region, right? And similarly, we had a good relationship with Afghanistan, which was progressing at that time. And suddenly, when that happened, we were left a little bit floundering, should I say, as to what should be our options as far as the Taliban is concerned. Mercifully, in the last 3 months of the year, we came out fairly well, despite those challenges. We came out fairly well with the National Security Advisor, his initiative of calling in the NSAs of the Central Asian republics and other important stakeholders to Delhi, the Russian visit of the Russian president to Delhi,
Right.
our outreach to the Central Asian nations, and our outreach to Afghanistan itself with humanitarian aid. All this has put should I say, much of what was lost has already been regained. So these were some of the major challenges. I would say, of course, that Chinese presence in Ladakh continued to
Yeah.
be more of a pinpricks than anything else at the moment, because this year we really didn't see any major effects of the standoff as such, except the fact that the Chinese refused to withdraw from those areas and continue to seem to be holding those friction points. Only time will tell as to what will really happen in the near future as far as the LAC is concerned. The LAC and the Chinese front is very important, but I won't say that that is the only area of importance. The Western Front continues to occupy our attention and must continue to occupy our attention. We must remember that Pakistan is now free to a great extent, although the perception in Pakistan is that it is advantage Pakistan because of Afghanistan. But we are also aware in our analyses that it's not so rosy as what Pakistan may imagine. But Pakistan probably perceives that with it guiding the Chinese as far as their Afghan policy is concerned, their policy towards the new great game area is concerned, perhaps they've got an advantage. And to that extent, India may not respond so proactively to any action or misadventure which Pakistan may wish to try and do in Jammu and Kashmir or Punjab or any other place like that. So I would say our attention must equally be there and as much on the LAC. It's important in terms of foreign policy to continue maintaining our equilibrium. It's very good that we have maintained our relationship with Russia. The visit of the Russian president has been a very good thing.
Right.
But we must at the same time continue to build up on our relationship, which is progressing as far as our strategic partnership with the United States is
Right.
concerned. The Indo-Pacific is an area of concern. We are needed there. We are needed in the Indian Ocean area in particular. And our importance to the Quad, our importance to the United States and its partners must be realized and must be executed. And lastly, I think internal security, you're very correct, very rightly brought out by you. Internal security is a very important thing. Jammu and Kashmir itself, extending a hand of terror, probably reaching out into Punjab. That is something which has not happened yet, but this is something which one suspects could happen if, Pakistan wishes to try and experiment with things here. The Northeast, uh, with this recent problems with ASPA, etc., must also not be lost sight of, and we must maintain our equilibrium as far as our conduct of operations is concerned all over the Northeast, because things can go bad there all of a sudden, as it happened with the recent incident. The Red Corridor, to my mind, seems to be reasonably secure at the moment. The police forces have done a fairly good job, but what is very important is this whole business of internal divisiveness. We can't afford to do this. We can't, especially in southern India. The kind of networks which still probably exist with what is happening in Afghanistan, what's happening in northern Afghanistan, particularly, the gravitation of terror into those areas. You don't know, the upsurge of terrorism internationally may take place once again. And if that happens, then obviously these networks which are there in southern India may suddenly come alive again. So we cannot forget what happened 2 years ago in Sri Lanka. Much of what happened there, the roots of that lay in our own southern states. It's not as if there are attacks taking place. It's not as if there is manifestation of violence taking place. But the moment you are aware that there are networks which are emerging, financial, drug networks, ideological and media networks, and things like that, overground worker networks, sleeper agent networks, when these things are becoming evident to your own intelligence agencies, obviously they are going to be alive to it and will respond to that.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.